Yo, what is up, homies? It's Valorant Bunny here, back with another video. Sorry for the 1 week break. I was celebrating my birthday, so I had to take a break for the weekly videos. I'm back now though. In this video, I'll be going over settings I think are crucial to improve both your Valorant experience and to give you a higher chance of winning those matches. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first setting that I think is very crucial to give you a competitive advantage is show corpses. For show corpses, you want to turn this to off. Turning this off makes the visibility of areas where people have died much clearer. This is also very crucial for Sage mains, as the hologram that spawns instead of the corpse is much more easily recognizable than if you just saw a corpse. For the second setting, you want to make sure that you turn on multi-threaded rendering. The reason you want to enable this is because multi-threaded rendering basically divides the amount of work a processor has to do among the different threads of the processor, hence why it's called multi-threaded rendering. The important thing to take away here is that if you have the option to turn this setting on, you want to keep it on, as it will lead to increased CPU performance, which will lead to higher frames per second. So turn this on. However, this is only available to newer CPUs, so if you don't have the option, that could be the reason. But don't sweat it. The next setting you need to change is to make sure raw input buffer is on. The reason why you want to turn this on is it makes all of your mouse inputs go straight to Valorant instead of going through Windows processing. So not only does it help with lowering input lag, as there's less processing on your mouse movements, but it also helps with making your mouse movements smoother and feel more natural. So remember, turn this on, unless you use raw XL. If you use raw XL, don't use this, as it will override the raw XL. For the fourth setting, I want you guys to turn on HRTF. The reason for this is that HRTF makes your soundscape more 3D. Basically, this will make it much easier to hear where footsteps are and to pinpoint exactly where they're coming from. It is going to sound a bit weird at first when you enable it, but after you get used to it, there's no going back. You're going to be much more immersed and you will be able to pinpoint footsteps with much greater accuracy. So remember, keep this on. For the fifth setting, I recommend turning Nvidia Reflex Low Latency to either on or on plus boost. What Nvidia Reflex Low Latency does is it syncs your peripherals all together, giving you a much more optimized gaming experience. Now, the big question, do you do on or do you do on plus boost? This comes down entirely to how powerful of a CPU you have. As if you have a weak CPU compared to your strong GPU, and you turn on low latency to on plus boost, you will just bottleneck your CPU as your graphics card will run at 100%, but your CPU will hold you back. So unless you have a beefy CPU, keep this to only on. Also, this only works for Nvidia GPUs, so sorry to all of you AMD users and even Intel now. For the next and second to last setting, I want you guys to turn show blood to on. I highly recommend to turn this setting on, as with it on, it is much easier to see if you hit a headshot through any type of box or anything similar which is blocking the view of the enemy's head. This will much more clearly indicate if you hit a headshot, as the blood's visual cue is much more significant than the sparks that come out otherwise. So keep this on. For the final setting, I highly recommend changing the enemy's highlight color. The base red is often very hard to spot when in a highly stressful and fast-paced match. That's why I always recommend to change the enemy highlight color to something that's much easier to spot. I usually suggest either going with purple or yellow. I myself like yellow the best, as I find it easiest to spot, but that is personal preference, of course. So choose the one you feel like you can spot enemies the easiest with. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully this helped you guys. These settings are the same settings I use to optimize my game to feel both smoother and to give myself a little competitive advantage. If this video helped you in any way, please don't forget to like and sub, as these things really help the channel and the algorithm. Even if it takes you 1 second or 10 seconds, I would highly appreciate it if you guys could drop a like and sub. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.